Okay, now we're going to look at how to get rich. Albert Einstein apparently said that the eighth wonder of the world was compound interest. And the reason he said that was because it's the fastest way something can grow. So if you have some money and you put it in a bank, in a savings account, what happens to it?
They pay you interest.
Yeah, they pay you interest, don't they? Yes. And what is interest?
A percentage of what you have in there.
Yeah. Keeping it simple, let's say that they give you 5%. So imagine that you have £1,000 saved and they'll pay you 5% a year on that. So after 1 year, how much will they give you? What's 10%?
£100 is 10%.
Yep, 10% is £100.
So divided by 2, that's 50.
That's it. So 5% must be 50. So at the end of the year, you'll have £1,050. Okay. Yep. So you think, that's all right, I don't mind that. I'll keep my money in the account for another year. How much will you have after 2 years?
It depends if they are only giving you that same amount again, or if they're going to give you 5% of that as well.
5% of what?
Of the new figure of 1,050.
Right, yeah. Which do you think they do?
I'm thinking the original one.
Yeah, that's called simple interest, where they give you the 5% on the original amount over and over again. Okay. Yep. So that means you'll make £50 a year forever, but you don't get rich that way. No. Compound interest, they do it with the new amount. So as far as they're concerned, you've now got £1,050 in your account, and so they'll give you 5% of that. So how much will you have in interest in the second year?
10% is 105, so divided by 2, that is £52.50.
Good, yeah. So 10% is 105, so 5% is half of that, and then adding that on, how much will we have altogether now?
£1,102.50.
Right, yeah. Okay, so you can see, because of compound interest, it's growing a bit more than with simple interest. You're £2.50 richer than you would have been. And if we continue like that, the money will grow. And it'll grow that bit more quickly than it would with simple interest. In fact, there's something in finance called the rule of 72. And it tells you how long it will take for your money to double. So all you have to do is divide your interest rate, so in this case 5%, into 72. That'll tell you how long it'll be before your money goes from £1,000 to £2,000. Well, 5 into 72, what's that?
14 remainder 2.
Good.
14 and 2/5.
Right, excellent. 14 and 2/5 years, you will have £2,000. So initially you have £1,000, and then 14 years later you have £2,000. Okay. How much do you think you'll have in 28 years, 14 years after that?
4,000?
Yeah, that's right. It doubles. So 14 years later, after 28 years now, you'll have 4,000. Another 14 years, how much will you have?
Double again. So
yeah.
8,000.
£8,000. So after 42 years, you've got 8,000. So you started on 1,000, and 42 years later, you've got 8 times as much.
You just need to keep that £1,000 for that long.
Yeah, that's assuming you don't add to it or whatever, and the interest rate stays the same the whole time. What would happen if it was a higher interest rate?
You'd accumulate, you'd double quicker.
Yeah, the money will grow more quickly. So if the interest rate was, say, 12%, and 12 goes into 72, 72 divided by 12 is what?
6.
The money's going to double every 6 years. So after 6 years, you'll have £2,000. After 12 years, you'll have £4,000. After 18 years, you'll have 8,000. So it'll only take you 18 years to get £8,000. So the higher the interest rate, the quicker it grows. So that's just for 12%. Now, credit cards are sort of 15 to 20%. So you can imagine it's the reverse situation, because you always have a reverse. And the reverse situation is that if you borrow £1,000 at 12%, after 18 years, you'll owe £8,000, assuming you don't make any payments. That's how quickly it can grow, and that's why it's considered the eighth wonder of the world. All right.